welcome back to Wendy's Colouring. And today, talk about time, Wendy. I did start, feels like years ago now, but I don't think it was quite years ago, but it was, let's come in a little bit. It was, yeah, quite a while ago. I think I did 2 videos about a page I'd started in Rooms of Wonder, and I've never finished it. And as a result, I've never worked in this book since, because I know I've got a whip in here. And yeah, I can't do any more till I finish this. So I've no doubt people have long since given up on waiting for me to finish this whip off. But I thought, well, it's about time, isn't it, that I got off my backside and sorted this page out. Because apart from anything else, there are some other pages in this book that I really would quite like to do, and it's holding me back from working in this book. So, last time I got this far, so we've got a base on the wall, I've got a base on the dressing table and the mirror. There's still quite a bit to do in terms of little objects, bits and pieces on the mirror, and then background wise we've got wall, we've got part of the light fitting, we've got carpet. And then we've got quite a lot of repeated forms. So I've got this flower form that obviously repeats all the way around. And then this kind of trim that's round the edge, again, is just basically the same 4 times, isn't it? So those bits, I think, from video perspective, will be quite quick. Not quite so quick for me to actually do them. But yeah, I'd like to at least try and get the middle bit finished-ish, and certainly all these bits and pieces. So last time I was working on this, I was working with my Albert Durers. There, ooh, look, clearly I won't be working with that one very much because there's not very much of it. How's that got so short? Was I using that one here? I don't know. Clearly I've used it a lot for something. So yeah, I've got my Albert Durers. I'm going to carry on with using those. I've also got 2 hands, which I don't think I had when I was working on this page before, my Caran d'Ache Museum aquarelles. So if there's a colour or something that I want out of these, I might also use some of these, just because, if I'm honest, I find them a bit easier going on my hand, because I find them just a little bit softer than the Albert Durers. So nothing wrong with the Albert Durers, they're beautiful. Nothing wrong with them at all. I'm just, clearly my hand complains quite a bit if I've used these a lot. So yeah, we need to make some colour choices. So I think I'd like to get this back wall in, and we've got already quite a strange colour scheme going on. Not quite sure what I was thinking. Pink, well, we've kind of got teal because of the light sourcing, but we've got blue, we've got a bit of green, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to carry on with the pink. But what pink is the question, because these are quite bright. I think I did want something a bit more subtle. My museums don't really have pink except one, and the pink that's in there is very similar to that anyway. I don't want something the same. Maybe we're not having pink. Tempting. What's this one? Rose Meadow Lake. What do I think? It's going to be quite bright wall, that. Maybe not. Maybe not. Blues we could get away with. Teals not so much, I don't think. Oh, see, I think that's just off camera. It's not helping you much, is it? I think that must have been the pink I used for the actual mirror, looking at it. What is it? Dark Flesh. It's probably called something else now. It's because my sets are old, but it's 130. Not being very decisive, sorry. I think I do still want pink, but I'm not loving these pink choices. Red, orange we definitely don't want. I'm going to need yellow anyway, so we'll get one of them out because we need to put some more yellow in on the wall for the light sourcing. So I've got a dark yellow out. What yellow have I got here? I've got cad yellow, Is that 107? Yeah, 107. And I've also picked the light one out, which is cream 102. Still struggling for my back. Wallow. I'm thinking I'm gonna go pink. Who cares if it's a clashy wall? I might regret this choice later. I might have to knock it down with something later. So I've got Pink Meadow Lake, which is, can't read the number, 129. And I've got Pink Carmine, which is 127. Okay, so before I go mad with the pinks, here obviously we've got some light sourcing, so particularly around these lamps, I do just want to add a little bit to the wall, or as though it's on the wall. Gonna use some water over it, so I'm not worrying too much about how neat it is at the minute. Might bring you in a bit actually. So that was the darker one, and I think I'm going to add a little bit more of the lighter one around the edge. That obviously it's going to go pink, back to pink where the edge is. Not going to worry about these little ball things on the lights. Oh, see, these are giving me hand cramp already. I don't know if it's the hexagon nature of it, but or whether I'm pressing too hard on it. I don't know. But I like them on the page, just don't like them in my hand. I don't know how you do it, Shelley. She's using them all the time, isn't she? She must have super grip strength. Okay, so it kind of feels like we've got a little bit of light source in there. Then I've got my two pinks, and I'm going to turn the book, no doubt, at various points. I'm going to do it now even. This is going to be a bit of a colour scheme, this bedroom, but you know, why not? I'm going to be a little bit careful about how much I put on near my light source in there, because at some point I've got to kind of smooth those together. I'm thinking with this background, I'm going to wet this background, let it dry, but I'm thinking it probably once it's dry, I'll probably want to maybe work back in over the top with the pencil, because there'll be bits that I want to add some shadow on, because obviously we've got light coming from over this side, so down here I'll want it to be a bit darker, I think, over this end. But for now, I think I just want a reasonably even coat of this pink, which actually I'm not minding. It's quite bright. I don't think I have to pick it for my bedroom, but for a fictional bedroom, it's fine. I'm too chicken to actually use proper watercolour in this book yet. Has anybody done it? Have you been watercolouring in this book? Does this paper take it? I've got the UK version. So I've got the darker one as well. I'm going to try so look what it's like. Yeah, it's a bit darker. I'm going to add a bit more of that here. Possibly there as well. Let's see what it's like with some water. Have I got a paper towel? Yes, I have. Have I got any water in my brush? So this is a follow Kuretake. It's quite a fine tip on it. I just have them, I've got packaging handily, so I just got the 4 set of these, so I don't tend to use this is like a big flat brush in it, but it has 2 of the other ones in. I did get a Pentel one fairly recently, but I was finding the fine one, the nib was so long and it was so clear, I was finding I was struggling to see where the end of it was, whereas I had an old one of these and thought, actually, why didn't you just go with what you knew and you knew worked? And I must admit, I'm much happier back with this one. It's a little bit easier to see what it is I'm doing, which is kind of quite important to seeing what you're doing in this hobby, isn't it? Okay. Just being careful about where that darker bit ends up, because I don't want it near the light. I'll do the other bit, the pink, as well before I try and do the yellow bit. Okay, I'm going to work from the middle out with this yellow around the light. Just want quite a soft transition between the light wood, so it's just kind of softening into the wall colour. It's not too bad. I think it did help having a bit of that really soft yellow in, that's not so shouty right near the pink. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Apart from that little bit, got a bit of a line there. Let's try and get rid of that. Okay. Uh-oh. Somebody's car alarm, sorry. Okay. I'm back. Car alarm free. because this has got a little bit of the darker pigment on. I was deliberately leaving this till last, just then I didn't pull it everywhere on the brush, in case it goes a bit darker than I'd planned. That's about right. Just don't want it to come out too far. A little bit of it down there. It's not too bad. Actually, I'm quite liking the pink wall now. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we went pink. Now the question is this a hole in the light fitting or part of the light fitting? I think it's going to be a hole. In my room it's going to be a hole. I have a bit of the wall there. But it's not really yellow because it's inside the light fitting. There we go. Okay, I'm surprisingly quite pleased with that. Now, got that needs to dry a little bit. I think I probably will deepen a bit of the colour over here a bit more with the, maybe with the darker one, but when it's dry. But obviously it's not at the minute. So I've got little bits and pieces to finish on here, but I'm thinking I'd like to put a bit of colour on the carpet, and I'm wondering about the same pink while I've got them out, so that you've got kind of wall and carpet matching. I'm thinking I'm going to do that because this is going to need to dry as well, and then I can be working on these small bits and pieces while we're waiting. So I think I'm going to go pink all over, same one I've just been using. What was it? Pink Madder Lake 129. Again, I'll probably use some of the darker one, Pink Carmine, maybe a bit under the dressing table where it be in shadow a little bit. I think I'll probably do that. Excuse the tilt, just easier to get in at the angle. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about this like leafy pattern that's all over it. I'm thinking I'm going to go over that with something later. I'm certainly not going to try and paint and colour around that at the moment, because it's a little bit of carpet, isn't it? So I can always pull it back with a bit of gel pen or acrylic paint pen later. I think I'll probably do that. Might maybe use a bit of metallic green in those patterns, we'll see. Just think kind of links back to the little stool. Oh, little chair. What do you call them when they've got no back on? It is a stool, isn't it? Finishing this off in my summer holidays from school, and it's honestly like I've lost my brain. So I've had a few lie-ins and just, you know, taking it easy and relaxing. I think my brain's just gone, nope, okay, I'm off. Words that you just normally use, no, they've gone. What's the name for that thing? Dunno, forgot. It's like my brain's just packed up and gone holiday somewhere. Carpet or something else in between? I think it's gonna be carpet. That's what we're gonna do. Go back straight again. Okay, so I've got a coat of the lighter one on. I'm going to put a bit, again, sorry for the tint, just so I can get in the direction. I'm going to put a little bit of the darker one down here under the dressing table and under the stool, where none of that's going to be getting to, so it would be a little bit in shadow. Again, I'll wet this, but probably once it's dry I'll probably put a bit more controlled shadowing where I want it. For now, I just want a reasonably even coat of this pink on to give us a base to work on. But yeah, the two kind of working okay together, aren't they? So, do I want the bigger brush? Because this is... No, we'll keep with my Control Freak small one. I do like this brush. I was so disappointed to not like the Pentel one. I was like, yeah, no, I'm getting that. Everybody says it's great. And then I was like, I can't see the end of it. Oh, it's gone over the line where I didn't want it to. Just a longer brush than I'm used to, I think. I quite like this because it's quite stubby little short thing. And I've tried it a few times, and every time I've been just getting annoyed with it. I'm like, no, that was not. I didn't want it to go there. I don't know if it's my eyesight or just my inability to use it. Again, I'm going to do the light bit first and then go into where I know I've got the darker pigment because I don't want that coming out too far. Here again. I think I'm going to work that way over this bit just because this is lighter. I will try and link the other two videos that go with this page because they'll be way back in the history of my channel somewhere. Was it? When did this book come out? It was whenever this book came out. Was that last year? I think it might have been, mightn't it? I'm very bad. There we go. Okay, so we've got a base on the carpet. That's not quite as even as I would like, but we'll always work over. And we've got a base on the wall. I'm quite liking the pink actually. I'm quite pleased we did the pink. So I'm going to let them dry. It's drying reasonably quick actually, the top. So in the meantime I'm going to do some of these little bits and pieces of fancy jars and things. Let me get the pencil case open again. So obviously now I do need to be a bit careful with colour because I've got quite a lot going on. I've got greens, I've got yellows, I've got blues, I've got pinks. I've got pink background behind these and they're sat on something blue. So I might carry on with some of the greens just because it kind of echoes back into the wall and you've got a bit in the seat. And I'm going to do a little bit of green in the carpet and then there's obviously greens in the leaf work around it. So that'll balance okay. So we might go with a selection of greens, I think. Let's have a look. I don't knock my lamp over while I'm trying to do it. So fish out those ones. I kind of like a lighter one. If I've got in my, yeah, I might fish that out as well. This is when I miss pastels. Pastels, that's what I want. So there aren't any. Not in either of these sets. Blues, we could get away with a bit of blue, can't we? So, I'll pick those up. And I might pick those, I think. That'll be a start anyway. So I've got some kind of peachy, skin tony colours. What are we calling these? I've got cinnamon, if it wants to focus. No, it does not want to focus. Cinnamon 189. I don't know how well it's going to focus. It doesn't look like it is going to because it's so reflective. And the other one is, mine's called Light Flesh, but it's 132. I think they're called something else now. It's just mine are older ones. And then I've also got in greens, I've got May Green 170, Earth Green Yellowish 168, and Chromium Green Opaque 174. I've picked a Museum Aquarella, which is 15, olive yellow. And I've got two blues, just because this one had a bit more of a pastel-y blue. 661, which is light cobalt blue, and light blue, which is 161. So I've got those to hand, but I think I'm going to start with the greens. So I'll just move the others out of the way. I've got those 4 greens in my hand. So I've got another little pot behind that one. I'm just going to use the lightest one on my Albert Duras, which is May Green. On this little bottle, and then my Museum Aquarelle in the centre of it. I'm going to wet these as I go. Don't need to wet them, could have left them as they were. Knowing me, I'll probably wet them and then work over them, because that's generally what I want to do. I'm going to wet that one actually, because I can see I haven't. Or I've not done the little lid of it. Pinch some of the colour and do it that way. I'm going to use the exact same ones for, what are the jars over here? This one. Then we're going to have a blue jar, I think. This back one, I'm going to do blue. And then I'm going to use these skin tony for this bottle in the middle. And I've got a little one there and 2 more, and then a jar of something. Is it cotton wool balls? It's probably cotton wool balls, isn't it? Gonna go back with greens, I think. This one can be green. I don't know why this lady's makeup's all green, but you know. Tough. Those are the colours I want them. Ooh, hello. It's escaping. And we're going to go back with the skin tone, I think, for this one, because it does look like a face cream, doesn't it, this jar? So nobody wants green face cream, do they, really? Should have been white, but got cotton wool balls there, so nope, they're going to be white, aren't they? So I don't want loads of white on there. So I just got this little one that kind of looks like it's a little perfume bottle or something, doesn't it? I might actually go back into the yellows here. Yep. Okay, so I need some greys, some little cotton wool balls in there. So that one's probably a bit too dark, but I've pulled out basically cold grey 1V, I'm no good at Roman numerals, cold grey 3, cold grey 1 and cold grey 2. I might put a smidgen of the very dark one just in the odd place in there, but not many. Oops, snap. Then we'll go to the mid, which needs sharpening. Excuse the noisy sharpener. Yeah, I think that's enough. Oh, snap again. Heavy-handed. Maybe that's why my hands hurt when I use these, because I press on too hard. Tempted to not wet these. There we go. Now we can put a little bit of colour on the jar. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of the pale blue on the lid. That'd be quite nice. I need some of this colour, which I think is that. I think it's medium flesh, this bit of the mirror frame. So I'm just going to put a little bit inside the jar, like you're getting a bit of a reflection through. In there. And then we could do with a little bit of the blue of the table, and I have no idea what blue that was. Good question. I need a bit of scrap. Okay. Is it that? I think that'll do. That'll do. I'm not sure if it is totally this one, but Cobalt turquoise 153. I'm guessing that might be something like that. It's close enough for a little jar anyway. Just to get a little bit in the jar. I need to put a little bit of light reflection on all of these later, but I'll do that with an acrylic pen. Not going to worry about it now. There we go. Okay, so we've got a little key, we've got the little knobs on the dressing table. Key, we're going to go, yeah, well, just want a little bit of a rusty brown. Oh. Sharpen. So this is something I have no idea what it's. What a bizarre name. This one, 263. Something violet, but it doesn't look violet to me. It's most definitely a brown. Just darkening a little bit of the yellow off with it, so it's not super bright. And I'm going to do the same on the little doorknobs. They're okay. I need a little thread for that key. I'm going to go pink, because why not? We're already using a lot. I'll have a little key on a pinky thread. There we go. Kind of feel like I want a bit of white. This is my usual go-to white, so just my usual lumens white. Just quite like using it to blend with, quite like using it just to soften a transition between two colours. Okay, I've got little letters in there, so I want a kind of old paper looking colour. What's this? Burnt ochre 187. Oh, what is it with pencil labelling? 187, I think. Oh, snapped. Hold on, technical problem. I shall be back. There we go, better. The leg got totally stuck in my sharpener. Okay, so no doubt I will snap this in a second. Trying to be light-handed. So I'm just putting a little bit of this on, and then I'm going to brush it out with the aqua brush. And I don't want them solid brown. Just make sure I've not got any pink still on there. Then we've got a little reflection of the same envelope. It needs a bit of the same colour. I might do some on that as well. Okay. Oh, there's a little bit there. Is that all the bits I want for that? I think it is. Oh, why have I not done the lid on that bottle? I think I did that last time, didn't I? The lid. It's not, I've not got any reds out. What red have I used? Quite a bright looking one. Is it that one? Let's have a look. There's my little scrap paper. No. That should do. A little bit off, then it's not so dark. And we also need a little bit of red behind that vase. That's quite strong. That's more than I want. I just wanted a tint like that. A bit of green behind that bottle in the mirror. Maybe we'll do a bit of the blue behind the cotton wool balls. Okay. For some reason I can see I've left a bit of trim there. I'm thinking I might do it the gold, like the little drawer knobs. So I'm just gonna go mad, put a little bit of the yellow on. Do the same on the stool. Then we want the brown. Was it that one? Oh yeah, it was. Okay. I've got to make some decisions about this tiny little door as well. To disguise the door. Oh yeah, you can't see my... Have I just been off camera the whole time when you was doing that little bit of the gold? Dumb. Yeah, I've got this tiny door to do. I've got flowers to do. I think we're going to have ready orange flowers. So I want something dark. Something slightly orangey. Something very orangey. And I think that red that I just had. Right, I'm just going to pause and sharpen these because they're not sharp enough. Okay, so I've got deep scarlet red, 219, dark red, 225. I've got chrome yellow, 108, and scarlet red, 118. Hopefully you can just about see them. I'm going to do these little flowers with them, but I might then use this set to do these flowers around the edge so that again they kind of tie in together. We shall see how much I like them. So I'm going with the darker one, which was the dark red first, and just kind of making the kind of petal divisions a little bit more obvious first. Try them ones first. And I think I'm going to jump it in with scarlet red on top of that. I think because these are such little spaces, I don't think I'm going to wet these here. I might just use my white on the edges. And then the lightest one, which is this orangey one. Ooh. Heavy-handed. I'm gonna have my eye out with one of them soon. Pinging off. Yeah, and now I want the white. Just to kind of soften the edge of them a little bit. Okay, so I'll do them all and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've just popped in the colour on all of those. I'm just going to use the pink we've been using all along for the little centres. Some of these. Obviously I'm going to break it as I do it because I pressed on too hard. I've already put a bit of green with these stems, but it's quite a shouty green that behind the stems, so I think I'm just gonna use one of the darker greens that I got out earlier, chromium green opaque, just to knock this colour back a little bit because it's a bit shoutier than snapped it again. So when I've got, because this sharpener, this one, I forgot what it is now. Oh, Dial 133. I do have it set so it sharpens them really pointy because I like them really pointy, but yeah, I'm clumsy and I press on too hard, so then it snaps. Okay, so we've just got scarf and beads. Is that it on there? Got labels. I'm thinking I'm just gonna do them all the labels, like the little golden labels, like it's all posh stuff. There's that brown there. There's my white. I've got so many pencils out now. I've got a desk full of pencils. Okay, so we still need a little red for the little love art things. Do a different colour in the stamps. I'm thinking a little bit of the colours we've been using. That was just medium flash. So we've got a scarf. I'm thinking greens with the scarf. I don't use greens very often like this, but somehow, I suppose because I've used quite a bit of pink, it kind of makes a bit more sense. There's my brush. What with the green? maybe a bit the orangey red. Put the orange in first. Ooh, oh. Oops. Clumsy. Too many pencils out. Where's the green there? This one. Soft reflection behind it. I'm thinking I want a really soft pink for in the mirror. So have I got a pink in here? Yes, I have. So I think I'm just going to pop a bit of this. I can reach it. Ugh. Onto my palette, because obviously I don't want it this strong, because that's going to be too bright. Have I got a light in there? Yes. So I'm going to mix a load of that, and then use a brush that's a little bit bigger. I'm going to move my stack of pencils though that are resting in the spine of this book, because I want to put some pink on this mirror. I'm probably going to add some grey to it later, but as just as a wash, I want to basically make a really soft looking pink. It's same kind of palette as the one we've got, so yeah, it's just quite soft colour. There we go, that will do, I think. So that's handy as well, just in case. Might regret this, but needs must. So it's almost like it's the mirror seeing the pink on the other side of the room. But I'm going to put some grey shadows over some of this later, I think, just so it feels a bit more mirror-like, and possibly even a bit of lighter sections as well. I might get away with doing it like this. Let's try. It's not too bad, is it? A little bit on this last bit. Yeah, it's okay. my brush off a bit. I think I just want that bit a little bit lighter. I'll take some of the colour out a little bit. Starting to warp a little bit, so I need to stop. I can see it's bringing the fibres up, so no more water. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's pop them back in my tin. Just a bit quicker with the Neo colours. I have the, I think, is it 90 or 60, the big tin? But this tin is my old tin. I've had it donkey's years. As you can see, some of it's used to death, some of it's not so bad. They're a good buy, I think, Neo colours. They last you a long time. But yeah, I quite like this 30 set. It's not too big to carry around. It's got quite a good palette selection. I think there's the odd colour I've swapped out for ones I use more often, but I quite often reach for that 30 set rather than getting the big one out because they tend to have the colours I want. Okay, so yeah, that's quite wet there, so I need to be careful and maybe do with a bit of drying time. So we've got this bit at the bottom dry now. I've got my little door to do, and we've got the light fitting, the beads, but this is still wet, so I'm not going to do the beads yet. It's not too bad there. I could work there, just conscious of leaning on that very wet bit of paper. So for now, I'm going to do the little door that I keep pointing to that's off the screen, hopefully. Let me get rid of my palette. I think I'm going to do the little door blues, pinks. I'm going to do it the pink, I think. Go pink. Why not? Little door. Little mouse door. Oops, that's not the brush I want. Go away. Want a small one. And I feel like the rest of it should be a bit of green again. So that the mouse is kind of going along with the rest of the decoration. If it is a mouse. Might be an Alice in Wonderland door, mightn't it? For humans. Where's my little brown? Okay, so these lovely flowers around the outside, which, if I'm honest, is maybe one of the reasons I did this page, and it's taken me a year to get to them. I think I'm going to go with a lot of the colour palette that I've got out already. So I've got quite a lot of reds out, pinks out. Yeah, we could use that as well, couldn't we? So I've got quite a lot of these out. I think I'm going to go with all of these. So all the reds that we've been using so far. So pink carmine, dark red, deep scarlet red, pink Madder Lake, and the last one was the Light Flesh 132. I'm going to use these, I think, in the flowers. So again, I'm not going to do all these flowers on camera because that would be boring. I'm basically doing the same thing again. So we'll do a couple. I'll show you how I'll do them, and then I'll try and do them all. So because these are, they've got little folds in the fabric, I'm going to use the dark at first. That's maybe a bit darker than I would have liked, but we can lighten it. Then I'm using the deep scarlet, which I know is very difficult to see. I think that's my biggest gripe about most of the pencils I own. Like this, the printing on this is actually quite good, but because it's so reflective, in lots of situations it's basically unreadable. They're either too small to read, like I love my luminance, but you know, if I didn't know what colours they were, I'd never be able to read them because they're just, most of the time, oh, they're in my eyes. And then this is the Light Flesh colour, which, you know, I'm sure this is called something. I need to look it up what this is called now, because it's definitely not Light Flesh anymore. And then I want my white. I do want my white a bit sharper. guaranteed, every time. Where's that gone from? I don't think it helped. This white in particular, I think I got them from Cult, but they sent them with no protection, just in a bag. So these ones have been a bit snapping a little bit more than my lumens do normally. Needless to say, I shan't be requesting loose stock from Cult again. Jacksons are a little bit dearer, but they do arrive nicely packed. I need my little brush. Where is it? That's all you hear all the way through this video, isn't it? Snap. Snap. It's okay. So, I'm going to carry on, obviously do all these petals like that, and that's going to take me quite a while. But I thought, as we're here, and I've got them handy, I will try and show you how I'll finish the petals off. So yeah, that one might do. So these are some of my, just get the tub then you can see it, some of these dual-ended light wish, can't talk, acrylic markers. These ones anyway, that I use quite a lot. As you probably know, I've got quite a few different sets of markers. I tell you which pen it is, but obviously they are not labelled, so yeah, I can't. So obviously these have got black lines around the edge. Petals are quite delicate, and we don't really, or I don't want quite black lines around the edge of a petal. So I'm just going to take some of the line work out with the pen. This is quite a soft pink tone. It might be a little bit light, but I'm not worried too much. I'm not going to take all the line out, just the bits that feel like they're kind of too dark for the petal colour where it is. Might need more than one coat, more than likely it will. Thankfully these dry pretty quick, these Lightwish pens. This might be a bit dark, let me see. It's not quite the tone we want, but let's see what I think. So something like that, and then just a white acrylic now. I'll just add a bit. Even there, like that. I'll do that on all of these flowers, so they go all the way around this section that we've been working on. Obviously that's going to take me a little bit of time, but that's how I'm going to colour each of them. I'm not going to change the pencils that I had, so all this set that are out here next to me, and then use a collection of, can't get hold of them, these 3 markers. Obviously they don't need to be these brands, any that you've got will work as well. Then I've got leaves to do on here. I'll nip back and show you how I'm going to do the leaves once I've got all these flower heads done. And then I want to take some of the lines out from some of these objects on the dressing table. The lines on some of the legs are a bit heavy as well for me. So yeah, there's quite a bit of line work that I want to work on too. I want another layer of pink on this background, and we need obviously this decoration in the carpet, but again I think the carpet needs a bit of work on it as well. And then hopefully this bit in the middle is feeling a bit more finished, but I'll come back to you on the video when I've done all of these flowers, because these are going to take me quite a bit of time and it's quite repetitive to watch. So hopefully when it's back on, those will all be done. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back. I'm back. I don't know who we is. Me and the dog, I suppose. Yeah, so I've done all the big flowers around the edge, exactly the same as I just showed you, as I did the individual ones. And as you can see, I've also done the large leaves that are next to it, but I've left a couple to show you how to do that in a second. I've also done the little flowers in the border, mainly because I've just basically used exactly the same technique and nearly the same colours, but instead of using the light flesh as the light tone, I swapped it for this slightly more, well, apricot, it's called apricot, 41 Museum Aquarelle, just so it looks slightly different, but the reds are the same that are in it. I don't really know why, felt like it, just fancied a little bit of difference, but reasonably similar. Now, the leaves I've done with 2 of the Museum Aquarelles. So I've done olive yellow and dark olive, which are 15 and 249. And as you can see from the one that I've started, if we go in a little bit more, all I've done is basically put a section that's dark down the centre, and then I tend to just add a little bit of the darker around the edge, so you end up with that kind of shape, and then just use the lighter one to kind of soften the edge of the darker one. This one's only a little leaf, so it doesn't take very long. And then depending on how it looks, I might just lighten it with my luminance white. That's not going to focus, but you get the idea. Just where I've added the lighter, so I've just got the one left to do on that little bit. And same again, just soften where I've left the white sections with the lighter one. Just so it's like you're getting a little bit of light reflection on your leaf surface a little bit. And then with these leaves, they're quite fine, so I've not used a paint pen or anything. I'm just literally using the colour that's already on the page and the white to just work over the... It's not really getting rid of the black lines, more just knocking them back a little bit really, just so they're not quite as obvious. And then I might just go back in again with the dark, just to darken the centres up again. Okay, so there's little leaves that around the little flowers. I'm going to do those in this set the same again, these little ones, because that makes sense. But what else we got to do? Got quite a bit of work to do on this centre bit. I'm thinking I might do these beads with a gel pen because they're quite fine and little, so I might do them later. I think what I do want to do is add just a little bit of shadow bits, getting everywhere from my mini pencils, bit of shadow into the mirror, just basically where it might be a little bit darker because there's objects behind. I don't want to get rid of the pink that I've got, just want to make it like it's not all the same reflection, that you kind of... I don't know, just so it feels a bit more like a mirror, because it still just feels like a little bit of a clean bit of wall, doesn't it? I suppose in an ideal world I might put a little bit of white back into it some point, but we'll see whether I dare do that later. Possibly not. Might chicken out on that. These are just the greys that I had out before, so this is one of the cold greys, 232 I think that is. So it's kind of a mid darkness, not too dark. A bit on this side as well, I think. Oops, Spot who's not muted my emails. There we go, get rid of them. Don't want any more, maybe a bit more. Yeah, that's a bit better with a bit of shading in it. Now we've got the light fitting to do. Because I did little gold trims down here, I'm thinking I probably should stick to the same ones. So I think I used that one, didn't I? Cad yellow and this strange violet that's clearly brown. Who knows why? Some weird name. So I'm just gonna add that in. Again, I might put a little bit of highlight back into this light fitting later with a pen. Could do with losing the lines on this light fitting, but it's so small and tiny. I think I'm too chicken to try and acrylic the lines out on that. I might just see if I can... Let's sharpen that first. Let's just see if I can knock them back a little bit. Helps if it's not splitting. Which it is. Don't know what. That's a little bit better. So this is just an acrylic paint marker. Happens to be that brand, but others are available. Just going to put a little bit of highlight back into it. I don't know if it works. Easier said than done. Not loving it, if I'm honest. Try and do the lampshades while I'm here. There we go. It's no good. I think I am going to have to find a yellow for that. Not sure which one's the one to try. Hold on. How light is that? That might be alright. It's a bit tricky on this one, isn't it? Because I'm a bit in danger of losing the light fitting if I take too much out of this one. But I don't love those little spirals in. Might put the spirals back in with a gel pen. A metallic gel pen later. I think we'll definitely do them tassels with a metallic gel pen later, because they're not stained black. Beads. Shall I do them with an acrylic pen as I've got them out, or do I want them metallic? Decisions. Let me have a look. Oh. Just banged the box into my light fitting. Not really what I want to do. Oh, I have got gold in this. Maybe that might be quite nice. Or I could do a stronger pink. How strong is that? I suppose pink beads would kind of go with what's going on this dressing table, wouldn't it? I'm going to try the pink. I can always work over it if I hate it, can't I? So. I suspect this is going to need more than one coat till I'm happy with them, because black is likely to keep coming through. Fortunately, these do dry really quickly, surprisingly quickly, which for how I use them is a good thing. Perhaps if you're actually trying to do a painting with them, maybe that wouldn't be a good thing. I don't know. For me, because I'm clumsy and I forget and then lean on it, it's a good thing. Because otherwise, like my gel pens, I'll smudge them everywhere. Oh yeah, I think I prefer them pink. I'm glad I've gone pink. Yeah, don't mind the pink. Just want them to dry. Put highlight on them. No, they're too wet. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right, I'm going to work on some of these while I'm waiting for that to dry then. I want something that's close to that. That'll do. And I want some greens and blues for them bottles. Blue. Oh, that's not quite like that cap, is it? That is much stronger. Let's check. Oh, and yet it looks quite light actually. Let's just be how it's sitting in the nib. Try it and see. Oh no, that's fine. Got any of the blue? Yeah, the jar's blue. Again, I know taking the lines out is not everybody's cup of tea. You do what you like. I like finding a balance between leaving enough in that you can still see the drawing, but I don't want everything to have a massive great big black line around it. Now greens are more tricky because that is quite a yellowy green. What's that one like? Might try that. I'll try it. Yeah, that's okay. It's probably going to be too yellowy for that kind of bottle green bottle that I've got there. But this little jar. Anything else in this colour? No. I want a yellow for that little glass. Or might be white with that, with it being perfume bottle. Let's have a look. Danger of losing that if I'm not careful. Doing get this flowing a bit better. Let me give it a shake. Now this pen is not playing today. Been working fine. No, today I want to use it on camera. No. Hold on, I might have to find another one. Just pausing. Right, I'm going to play with it. It's the same one. That seems to be working a bit better now. Oh, that's better. One job in life, white pen. You are feeling. While we're here, I'll do the highlights on the beads if I can keep it working long enough to do it. Okay. Just a little bit of highlight on these as well. Right, bottle green is where I was. Put money on, I haven't got colour that's going to work in that in this set. No. I need the other set on because there's a good green in this one. Might be a bit dark for it. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's okay. That'll do. My dog is asleep underneath the desk in case you hear her huffing and sighing and making noises in her sleep. She does like a good huff. coming out whether I wanted it or not. Not taking all these lines out, just don't want them quite as bright black. Just knock them back a little bit. I need to do the labels because the black is... maybe a bit dark on that bottle, but I have to go with what we've got. Again, ideal world, I'd take some out of the key, but it's too small and I'll totally lose it if I start mulling with it, so less is more. I if I need something a bit darker actually for that and we don't lose the leg shapes. That might be better. Drowning line in pens. Turn the book, but I can't because it's covered in pens. Sorry, I just need to go for a brief moment because I can't do the angle with my hand in that direction. Might regret doing these. Ollie, stop it. Stop it. No. She's licking her paws now, which is what the pig noise is, if you can hear it. The joy of grass season. I think she gets a bit of a mild grass allergy on her paws. So as such has to attempt to eat her feet, like you do. But it's not the nicest of sounds. Sorry. If I was talking about books it'd be fine, but because I'm concentrating doing this, not making many noises to disguise her eating her feet, so sorry. Alright, I might be good and leave it at that. Because I feel if I try and take those out, it might be a step too far. Might do it with a silver gel pen so it make a bit of a feature out of it. I definitely want to lose the edges of the legs though, because that is not a good look. Which pen? Let's try that. Lots of them on screen, doesn't it? That would be helpful. This one might be a bit light. What's the next one down? Try that one. I don't think it's much darker really. See, this is when it's good that it dries quick, because otherwise I'm leaning on it. Again, should probably have just left these. I just can't make myself. Just like making work for myself. Right, no more. Leave it alone. Except for the mirror. Do need to do the mirror. That is also a funny colour though, because I picked a funny colour. Might work. Yeah, it's okay. Sorry. Just can't get in. Just can't do that weird hand thing. You know, like contorting your hand down weird angles to get in. Especially not when I'm doing a fine line. I don't want to go mad with this and take too much out. I need to watch what I'm doing. I don't know. Prefer it with or without? I'm not sure. It's part of me saying, leave it alone. It's too small a drawing. Well, started, haven't I? So So here I am. It's just that one that's got to go. Can live with that because that's a bit darker anyway. Alright, I want to just add. Should probably let the paint dry a bit better more first. And up there a bit, I think. Yeah, the paper did warp a little bit here. I said, well, it was the other day for me, this same video for you, but I'd got it very wet. It has warped a little bit here. I don't think you'll be able to tell, but just makes working on it a little bit tricky. Did I have a lighter grey out? Yes, I did. Okay. Yeah, I might do these lines with a gold or silver gel pen, I think, later. So, the other lines that annoy me are these on these flowers because they're very dark around the edge. So, we need something to work over those. I might try this set because these are a little bit more pointy than the other ones, for want of a better term. That might be okay. And I see why I get like 6 colourings done, if that, over a month, because this is how much I will faff about with it and just keep building it up. Drive myself nuts some months. Right, just leave it though. Nope, can't do it. I'll just do this. Just do this. Is that actually fluorescent? It looks fluorescent, but is it fluorescent? Oh, no, it's not. Just need a red in the middles. Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, just the scarf. Pen's escaping me. Do something just a little bit darker in those tassels. Can I leave it like that? There are a few bits that I kind of want to move. Sorry, I know I'm annoying. Just the bottom here, it's getting on my nerves a bit. It's not quite the colour I want, but I don't actually want to take this line out. I just want to soften it a little bit. Same with the little mouse steps. Just a bit dark compared to everything else around it. Okay, let's come out a tiny bit so we can see where we're up to. Okay, so that's pretty much where we are. I'm still thinking this bottle is a little bit dark around the edge, isn't it? Struggling for a green that would go with that any better. I wonder if we can just lighten it just a little bit. Oh, that's not too bad. It's not quite the right colour though. As long as I don't put too much on, that'll work. Yeah, that's a bit better. They're all more of a balance. So, in a little circle bit now, I've just got this little bit of carpet pattern that I need to put on. I've got centres in these flowers we still need to do. I feel like something else I'm missing and I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I'm literally drowning in pens, so I'm just quickly going to press these back into the case. Ooh, excuse the noises. Carpet wise, I was going to do this pattern green, but it's already quite busy, isn't it? So I'm thinking, I think I'm just going to use this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that. So it's like a darker pattern. This is the dark red 225, and I'm literally just going to go over the little teardroppy shapes that are in this carpet. I think that will be enough. I'm thinking there's already enough green, and I quite like the carpet, the tone it is. Not that I'm any great lover of pink carpets in real life. Bless. This house when we bought it had pink carpets everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Bathrooms, the little downstairs toilet, pink carpet. I think the kitchen was the only room that didn't have any pink carpet, but I think everywhere else, pink carpet. Oh. And at the time we did have a yellow sweet armchairs and couch, and that did not look good on the day we moved. Not at all. My lovely gran, bless her. Oh, this pink carpet is lovely. I hadn't the heart to tell her it was getting ripped out. Yeah, no, lovely. Yeah. Bless her. Needless to say, most of it is gone now. Certainly not in the bathrooms, that's for sure. I don't understand carpet in bathrooms. That just seems wrong to me. I mean, I get it's warm, yeah. But that's about all I can say, isn't it? Hygienic, not so much. Oh, can't pick it up. All these tiny shapes are giving me hand cramp. Oh. Make them end. Don't think I'm doing my neatest job on these either. One little patch left. Come on. Oh, the relief. Okay, so I've got my pinky pattern. I'm just thinking, do I want a little bit of highlight in it? I might regret starting this. It does break it up a little bit, doesn't it? Because it's quite a strong little pattern. Yeah, I think I do prefer it with a little bit of highlight in them. Makes it look a bit more interesting. It's a bit easier with the pen. A bit easier on the hand. Okay. Edge of the mouse door was doing my head in. So, I think I'm pretty much done inside, other than a little bit of gel pen work on this light fitting. I've got the inner bits of these flowers to do, and then obviously all of this background border and the circle and all of that. I was going to do this in just one video, but I can see now we're probably over an hour and a half, might even be more than that, because I've got 2 files. Just trying to think how long this bit's going to take me, whether to try and finish it now or make another video for it. I suppose this is going to be repeated, isn't it? So I think what I'll do now is we'll put an orange into the centres of these flowers. Let me get an orange. Too much stuff. No space left. Not the right tray. This is when I knock things over, trying to get to things that I've got out, because I've got pens out as well, no room. So I think I'm gonna pinch them 2 out and maybe the darker one. So I've got gold, cadmium yellow, orange, and Coraline, Carillion, dunno. However, number wise, 850, 30 and 530. Is that the weird one that I don't know? No, it's that one that I don't know. So that one was 850 if you're looking for it. I think I'm basically going to do simple enough. Let's bring you in. Dark. Oops, snap it, obviously. Might not even need the mids because these are so small. I think that's all I'm going to do. just a little bit of dark around them. A little bit of the lighter, and then just smudge it a little bit with the ever snapping luminance. It's not the pencil, it's the fact this wasn't packed properly. It's been snappy ever since I've got it. And these don't normally snap very often. Then a little bit of blending, and then I think what I'll also do is these have some little spotty dotties that I've gone over that I've kind of lost. So I'm just going to pop those back in as well. So I'll do that on all of them and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've put the centres in and I've put the little dots back in that I'd coloured over quite a while ago. Got little flowers, no, little leaves to do around here, and these are the odd little leaf in this section round the edge as well. So if I can find my lighter pencil amongst my pencil mess. Oh yeah, they're here. These are the two that I was using earlier on the leaves, so olive yellow and dark olive. I'm just going to show them because these leaves are pretty tiny. Again, I'll just do one little section and then I'll do them all because it's not going to take ages. Let's get you in a better. Let's get you more in the middle. That makes more sense, doesn't it? So I've got a lot of these little tiny leaves that gun round the outside. There's some on the edge of the little bits in the pattern, but obviously there's loads near these little leaves. So I'm just going to do something like that, I think, on each little leaf. So close to the flower it's going to be quite dark, and then on one side of the flower I'm going to take it quite dark, like that. Just take the excess off a bit. And then just use the lighter one just to soften them in, and then use my white just to knock the edges off and just blend the two together a little bit. I think that's enough really, so I'm going to do all of those that are left on this page and I'll be back. Okay, so I've done all the little corners with the flowers and the odd leaf that I found on the edge as well, and I have just put the centres into these little flowers as well. I've just done them exactly the same as the big ones, so it was these two pencils that I can't find. Oh yeah, the one that I don't know how you pronounce it, and cad yellow. Go on camera. So what are they? 850 and 530. Okay, so not got a huge amount left to do. I'm thinking I'm going to carry on behind these little circles in these spaces. I'm thinking I'm going to use the same quite vivid pink, just so it ties the inside and the outside together a little bit. But I am literally just going to colour these little sections in pink, I think. I'm also going to do these kind of pink and red, I think, as well. So something a bit darker than this. Maybe this one. What was this one? Pink carmine. Doesn't want to focus, but it's because it's reflective. Pink carmine 127 it is. So I'm thinking I'm also going to come down, do these little flowers in this as well. So again, I'll do a couple on camera with you. Like that needs to be sharper. these little things. Need something lighter again. Ugh, had to snap. Had to snap. Hold on. Oh, my back unsharpened. Had to snap. Always. I try to be quick. Oh. So I'm going to do those like that, I think. And then I might use the darker one again, which is it dark red? Dark red 227. It's probably not going to focus because it's too shiny under the light, but just a little bit of it at the top there, like that. On the little blossoms around the edge. Yeah, so I'm going to shade in the background of these just in the other pink and do all these little flowers the same. And I'll be back. Okay, so I've done all 4 corners with pink and the little flowers. I'm thinking the next bit I'm going to tackle is all of this spiral work, and I think I'm going to use the same colours that I've been using for all the kind of metally details, so the handles, the light fitting. So I've got the same 2 colours out that I've been using before, so 107 and 263. I'll just show you a little bit of it before I go and do all of it basically the same. Let's get a section here in so you can see. So yeah, I'm going to do all of this in these 2. Probably could do the sharpening first. Very similar to how I've done the light fitting. No great surprises, I don't think, really. So I'm going to work in with the yellow first, and it's going to snap as soon as I start using it, because, you know, that's just how it is. Not colouring it all, I'm just kind of wanting to leave a little bit of the white of the paper ideally, so that it's kind of metallic-y looking, and then just using a bit of this strange brown to add some shadow to it. It's a bit more yellow. I don't want that. And my white, just to soften the 2 into each other here and there. But yeah, something like that, I think. And then final touch of just a little bit of highlight. It's a bit tricky because these are so small, you can't really dust everywhere. Get in to put too much highlight on them, otherwise you'll obliterate them. But yeah, something like that I think I'll do all the way around so that it'll end up like that. Hopefully, well, in a few seconds for you. For me, it's going to take a little bit longer, but yeah, I'm going to try and do all this kind of loopy bits and pieces. Something like that, so it kind of keys in with bits that we've already got going on inside, so it's hopefully fairly cohesive in my quite strange colour scheme. Fingers crossed that it looks okay. But yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, so I've done all of those little spirally things, and they've had a little bit of a highlight on as well, so pretty much nearly done. Just got this frame around the edge, and then there's a little bit of an echo of a frame around there, and then the stars I'm going to do in a gel pen. I'm not going to do anything too fancy with them, but the frame I thought I would do in a watercolour. So this is my collection of, I think these are all Renaissance paints. So I was wanting something in a pink shade, so I'm wondering, that would be quite nice with it, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to go with that. So pop it on the top. It's going to take, just needs to wake up for a second because they do take a little bit longer to just dissolve the pigment than some of the others. In terms of what I'm doing with the stars, reach them, I'm thinking I'm going to use my deco gels, so I'm going to have that pink in this bit, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to use the yellow, I think, possibly out of these, which is black yellow, which will be this one. In the little stars, there's some in the outside and then there's some in the frame. I'm also thinking this little thin frame that runs around the outside and around the edge of them, I'm going to use that for those as well. And then we're pretty much done, I think, then. So I just need a brush. And hopefully this will be on the way to being done. Yeah. Might want a finer brush. Ooh. Which one's I got? That one's a bit finer. I'll keep that handy, I think. Because I've got to get around the little stars. So again, I'll paint a little bit, but then I'll finish a lot of this off camera. But just to give you an idea of what it's going to look like. I think Renaissance paints are some of my most favourite metallic paints. They're not cheap, I know they're not cheap, but they are beautiful and beautifully made. They are, and that is not simple. From someone who does make some paint herself sometimes, it's not simple making paint. It's long-winded, it takes a lot of time. Okay. So, yeah. I quite like that against it. It looks okay, doesn't it? So the whole of the frame I'm going to do like that. And then I'm going to touch in with that gold pen. And then I think I might be calling this done. Hopefully done. Yay, fingers crossed. So I'll see you in a minute when I've done those things. I'll see what I think then. See you in a minute. Okay, so I'm all painted up, all done. And I've done all the little bits with the gel pen as well. This one of the deco gels, and it's yellow around the edge of the little semicircles and around the edge of the pink circle as well, just to finish it off. And yeah, I think I'm going to call that done. I've ummed and ahed about putting a bit of background colour in this behind all this, but there's so much of this that you'd have to go round, and yeah, I kind of like it as it is. So I think I'm gonna say that is finally, yeah, the end of this never-ending whip. So this has been a whip for a long time for me, so yeah, it's quite nice to get it done, and I kind of feel I can work in other bits of this book now. So because I had a whip in it, it was kind of, oh no, I can't work in that, I've got a whip. Need to do that first. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. If I'm honest, if I wasn't filming it, I'd probably faff about with it a little bit more here and there, a few little bits and pieces, and I might still do that. I might end up putting a background on, you never know. But I think in terms of videoing it, I'm definitely calling that done. I'm going to leave it as it is. You might see it pop up and changed a little bit on my end of the month pages, but yeah, finally finished. Hopefully I've not bored you, Richard. Thank you very, very much if you've got this far through my video. Thanks for watching. I hope it's been useful to you. Bye bye.